This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
And a very special day we do have. It is a Monday. We're on to the 6th day of December. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning is Laura Lee. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, Miss Becky.
Happy Monday. Rainy Monday, right?
It is. Getting a little cool out there.
In the hot seat this morning, we do have, and probably they'll recognize your voice as soon as you start talking, we have Ryan Buchannan from Skyline Suites. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Yay, wonderful. What about that storm we had last night?
Oh.
My goodness. You guys, the rain came down.
Our dogs didn't sleep. They barked at the thunder all night long.
See, I'm fortunate in that sense. My dog is almost 17 years old. She's hard of hearing, so we're good. We're good there.
I've got this covered.
Just sneak up on her and give her the big clap right behind her head, and nothing. I got nothing. It's crickets.
Look forward to as they age.
Dog ever,
Yes,
right?
yes. Now,
Oh my God.
but now, I will say, I'm typically not disturbed, in the middle of the night by a storm. Last night, 3 different times I woke up to just, big thunder.
Yeah.
So, lots of wind, big thunder. So, yeah, it was aggressive.
Yeah, and my phone kept giving me alerts that lightning is striking 10 miles away from you. Well, be careful.
Flood warning.
Yeah.
You want to just have a conversation with it. Okay. Let me know when it's less than a minute from
Yeah,
me.
when I get 5 miles, then contact me. Yeah.
When I'm
2 miles,
Yeah.
then we'll go.
Give me the heads up.
Yeah. Well, today is the 6th day of December. Today is Miners Day. And hats off to all those miners out there, coal miners out there. Rolling.
Tough job.
Yeah, very tough. Mitten Tree Day. All right. National Microwave Oven Day. Ryan, how often do you use the microwave oven?
Daily. Daily.
Daily. What about you, Laura?
Not too often, honestly.
I'm with Ryan. Daily.
Oh, no, daily.
Yeah.
Daily. Now, it's, to be fair, it's to warm up food that we had last night, or, I don't know. But it's daily. I do. I've got kiddos, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're air fryer people.
Oh, I have one of those. Used it a couple of times. It's like a one and done for me. I'm like, okay.
Oh.
It was a gift. Somebody,
Yeah,
give it to us. And so I, used it. I'm like, okay, I've done my duty
My
now.
youngest son is an air fryer king.
King.
The older boys beg him to
What types of things do you air fry?
anything.
Anything.
You can put burgers, chicken breast, anything in there.
See, my father-in-law went through the air fryer fad, and he did that for probably 2 or 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
And then again, it's just like one more thing, right? So
One
then
more
he's,
thing,
he's back to, the microwave.
I know.
It's just a couple of buttons and done in 30 seconds.
French fries you can put in there. And
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
French fries are really good. Yeah.
That would be
Rally
really good.
fries, that's the
I've had the food. you know, he's, like I said, he prepared quite a few things and it was good, you know, so.
Now I've seen where they took Brussels sprouts and you take them and you smash them, and then you season them and you put them in the air fryer and they kind of crispy. And
There's one with olive oil.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did that. So I thought, well, maybe that would be a way to. Get some.
Those are pretty good
I've
like
been
that.
trying to introduce more Brussels sprouts.
My kids love Brussels sprouts, but
Yeah.
it's what they grew up with.
That's wonderful. Yeah. All right. Well, I do use a microwave oven a lot too. National Pawnbroker Day. Put your own shoes. Put on your own shoes day. I think we all did that, right?
Yeah.
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 Pretty sure, yeah.
Ooh, St. Nicholas Day.
Ooh, that's
There we go.
Love that. Ooh, Walt Disney Day. All right, love that. And Ryan, who's your favorite Walt Disney character?
Mm.
Laura, do you know yours?
I would say Pluto.
Pluto. Wow,
Pluto's
you didn't.
one of my
That's
favorites.
different. That's really different. Okay.
Gosh, that's a
Ryan?
tough one, guys. I don't know. Man, I like Olaf.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got
like
a
Olaf
little-
from Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, warm hugs. I like that guy's voice. You know, he's just got a lot of energy. So
Yeah.
it's hard not to smile when you're watching that, you know, and I think he's got a lot of like one-liners, a lot of zingers there that the adults catch.
Yeah.
It's not intended for the kids, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, he does a lot of that, like turn to the camera and wink at you, like, hey,
Is it breaking
catch
the
that?
third wall? What's it? Breaking the third wall, or what is it? Or breaking the third?
I don't
I
know.
think it's when
Yeah.
you go off camera and you.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I caught that, brother.
I got you. I'm here with you.
That was just for me. I
He's
appreciate
talking to
it.
Ryan.
Appreciate it.
Even though there's other people in this movie theater,
Yes.
it's Ryan. He's
Yes.
coming to
You
it.
made this worth my while.
I love that. I would have to say, of course, I love the mouse. Can't go wrong with Mickey, but I love Tigger. I like Tigger's energy, and I think he's totally misunderstood.
See, he did that too. He
Yeah.
did that stuff too, though.
Yeah, Neville
He'd say
Goddard.
things and
Yeah.
like kind of slip them in there, you know. And it's one of those shows that you go back and watch as an adult, you know, or movies. I go back and watch those with my kids now, like Ghostbusters.
Oh,
You know, we went and watched the Ghostbusters.
what'd you think the
It
new
was
one?
awesome
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of, remakes
Yeah.
or sequels. What would this be, like a threequel or something?
Yeah. Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
I think it was really well done. Paul Rudd is hilarious
Yeah.
in basically anything he does. So I was excited. But anyway, after we watched that, kiddos wanted to come home. My 5-year-old's like, Dad, can we watch Ghostbusters? Well, son, we can't watch that Ghostbusters, but let me show you these.
Yeah.
You know, and Papa watched Ghostbusters with him the next day at their house. And so he's watching like the original Ghostbusters
Oh yeah, that's
and
the best.
laughing.
Yes.
you know,
How could you not?
Just
Yeah,
loves it.
yeah.
So, but you watch that over again and you catch lots of quick little things. Bill
Oh,
Murray.
Bill Murray's my favorite.
And how those guys
Yeah.
played off each other. And,
Oh.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then you need to go back and so I went on I've seen the new one too. I went on a little further, the making of Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
and it's long.
Those guys had a lot of fun.
Yeah, they do, and they just kind of sometimes just pull it out of the
Yeah.
air.
Definitely off script. A lot
Definitely,
of
Yeah.
ad lib.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall.
Yes.
I would love to have sitting in on that one. Yeah, that would have been great. But yeah, sure. Well, today, okay, also real quick, I need to say the rain will be ending this morning, and we'll run the gamut of weather this week. We'll have low in the 20s. We'll have some snow. They're saying high near 65 and more rain. Finally, some sunshine this weekend. So right here in southern Indiana, welcome to the Kentuckiana area here, because it looks like we're going to have a little bit of everything. Also, we had, we'll see in sports action, Eastern hosted West Washington Friday night for the first county game of the season. The Musketeers defeated the Senators 59-46. Salem Lions boys basketball team 1-2 opener at home against Henryville. They lost 52-51. That game was that was a game. The Lions traveled to Mitchell this week, and all kinds of activity tonight. The West Washington Lady Senators will be at Perry Central at 8 p.m. All right, and Laura, I don't think we have thanked our sponsors this one. Sorry, it's
Absolutely, we
Monday.
can do that. We have Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Kentuckiana Cat and Cord, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, and Fox Burley Wealth Management.
All right, wonderful. And want to give a report over the weekend. Saturday was the parade, the Washington County parade, and Santa came to town. He's at his house, and I have the hours up. You can check it on my Facebook and website. Also, wonderful time for the parade, and it was a little chilly, but not too bad, and a fun time. And then that was on Saturday night, and then Sunday put together Lori McPeak put together a wonderful parade to go around some of the homes that maybe didn't get to come to the parade, and did organized a little parade there at the elementary school. And it started, and Ryan, first off, it went right to your place, Skyline Suites. And
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Our residents had, some of them had their noses pressed to the windows, and then, oh, hey, it's not raining now, let's go out.
Oh, yeah, they went
come out
out
on the
yeah,
front porch
yeah.
and had a good time. And it's little things like that, Lori Lee, that it does not take much.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Even the smallest thing makes their day. Knowing that the community remembers them or is thinking of them, they truly enjoy it.
Just anything outside of their daily routine.
Well, I think anytime you see a parade coming, by your house, and by your and by home, and they had Mickey Mouse in there. They had the Grinch. They had Chase from Paw Patrol. I mean, there were some, and then of course
even Santa.
Santa was there, absolutely. And it's time to kind of, make sure that everything's good with the Santa. If you have an explaining to do. Also, there were side by sides. There were Jeeps. I just thought it was wonderful, and what a blessing.
This is the second year I think that they've done it. Last year was kind of a figure out how to do it. But yeah, this I think is their second year.
Right. Well, I think they got into some rain possibly later on, but at the beginning, and Ryan, I know when they hit your place, and Laura, when they hit Meadowview and Salem Crossing, I know the weather was good, and I know the residents come flying out. They were wanting to see that, and they love the parade, and it means a lot, and just this being organized and realizing that not everybody could get to that parade on Saturday.
Sure.
And also this was very, very nice. Good timing for sure. Good way to kick off the Christmas spirit.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah, there's we've had some things like that during COVID. There were people that organized some. You had the birthday drive-throughs and the Christmas drive-through, and and so we were on that rotation too. And I get questions all the time about how was that situation handled? How do you handle COVID now? I feel like as a nation we've learned a lot. This year, last year, about lockdowns and how that affects people, and because we're still feeling the effects. I mean, that ripple is still moving. I mean, it is still going, and we could talk. That's a whole nother radio show. Supply chain and health effects and economic impacts, and but for us, we're a smaller, more intimate feel of a home. There's 12 rooms, and so we were able to, by the grace of God, an absolute blessing, not have any residents contract COVID. Right? I mean, that's
a huge blessing.
And so we handled that just like everybody did in the beginning, right? I mean, we shut down. We kept family out, unfortunately, because we just did not know, along with everyone else, what we were dealing with and how aggressive it would be eventually. And I think we made the right decisions as best we could in the moment. Super proud of my team. I mean, that's still very stressful. But what I really want to emphasize is the size of our home allows us to isolate a little better when we do have a resident that's feeling some symptoms or something of that nature. If they're, I'm just not feeling well this morning, I've got some stomach issues. We can check their temperature, and before they even come out of the room for breakfast, we've made those decisions. And then, if there's a staff member that's been with them that morning or that evening, hey, we're going to maybe send you home, keep you, away from certain things. And we're still wearing masks when we're around the residents, when we're in their rooms and cleaning and things. But we have opened it up to visitation. Family members are coming. Members of the public are coming. Obviously, we encourage everybody to get the vaccine if they can. Our residents have had it. They've had their boosters, and then they've, so both rounds and then a booster shot. Staff members have had that too. And so they are as safe at this point as they could possibly be, right? And so now it's time, in my humble opinion, not to get all political on everything, but it's time to move on and live your life, and so we started doing things again. We went to Spring Mill last month for lunch, and then actually tonight we're going to go to the Winter Festival in Louisville. That's a show that's put on by the same production company that does the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is a series of, I believe, 200 plus stained glass windows or panels that are set up with lights behind them. So you don't get out of the vehicle, but you drive through the program and enjoy it. And so we're going to borrow the bus again from First Baptist tonight. We're going to head down about 5 o'clock and check it out. So again, getting out, enjoying the world again, experiencing some things that most of these folks haven't seen. We've been on the scenic railway and French Lick, and as close as that is, none of those ladies and gentlemen had ever done that before. So doing things like that, going to the Mitchell Opera House, getting out and about, once a month and seeing things, and that's part of the experience. That's built into the cost, each month with Skyline. So those things aren't extra to do.
I love that. Yeah. I'd forgotten that. That's really nice. That's a win-win bonus for sure.
Right.
You're an activity,
And they don't have to drive.
yeah, an activity director there. Yeah.
Well, I have an activity director. Her name's Sonia, and she does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
She's, I'll say, hey, where are we going this month? And she'll come up with some ideas. We'll ask the rest of the employees. We'll ask, the residents, hey, do you have a place in mind that you'd like to go, or maybe some place you'd like to go back to? And we kind of take a straw poll of that and figure out, where we're going to go. Because again, we want to make sure that we're being responsible in light of, flu season and COVID as well. We're not going to go into, some crazy packed house event and, sit shoulder to shoulder with people if we can avoid that. So, but still, trying to balance things.
Right. Well, I just want to go back for a second. In the beginning, whenever everybody was trying to, it changed hourly of what we were learning with COVID. And you said one thing and then, and then it completely changed to another, And I think that, and Ryan, I've got to give you a big kudos, and Laura, I tell her that all the time too, that Laura's company, and I think you, Ryan, Skyline Suites, I believe that you handled it so well. And if it hadn't been handled so well, it could have really been, it could have been really a different story that we're talking about today.
Could have been. Right.
So, I just want to say how awesome and the forethought, because, in the beginning, nobody realized, shut things down quickly. You kind of got to be very protective, if you will, that mama bear,
right,
over your homes and your facilities, and it wasn't popular decisions at all.
Not at all.
And
it's
then,
tough.
It is very, and especially when you're talking about someone and their loved one, or if someone's used to going and doing, and then all of a sudden, you kind of say, no, we gotta stay tight for a while, and that's not always popular, to say. But I think that saying that, has been where you're today, saying that we have done so well. And Laura and her company too, saying that too, because, I know in the very beginning, Laura and I know you, Ryan, were like two of the facilities that I first heard of saying, we're shutting, no to.
Me and Ryan communicated, I think probably weekly.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? What have you heard? Trying to just make sure we stayed on the same page.
And that networking paid off.
Yeah.
Because everybody was on the same page, even though it wasn't popular.
Yeah. And I have to say, COVID aside, Laura Lee, you are an absolute blessing to me. You really are.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting right here with me. You are very well versed in what you do on a daily basis, and you're just such a resource for me. And when I reach out with a question, or hey, how do you handle this, or what happens in this situation, how should we proceed with this? You've got a great answer. And when I refer somebody to the crossing, I'm really referring them to you. I'm not thinking of anyone else. And so when I associate with somebody, I really want them to be a reflection of me and what I want to offer people when they come to Skyline. And so I'm not going to partner with somebody or send their loved ones someplace with someone that I don't trust. And so I really trust you. I appreciate you.
Well,
Well,
thank
that's
you.
very
I feel
kind.
the same
That's
way.
very nice. You guys, that's very nice. Wow, that's a cup of cheer.
Yeah.
I'm over here. That's
Happy
awesome.
Monday.
I'm over here I'm gonna be crying. I love that. No, really, but I do say that you know, that you both have been rock stars for sure. But going back to that, and I just wanted to kind of put that little bit of a note about how you know, just kind of going back to the reminder there on that. But it has paid off, and now and like tonight, you know, getting on a bus and, you know, staying with your own group, your own, you know, and traveling and driving through a drive-through like that, that's very good. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what we were even able to do during COVID. You know, they were saying you could look at Christmas lights, drive through, you know, and so how beautiful. And this stained glass, I think, would be amazing.
That's an experience, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people go to certain churches just to see
Oh, the stained
the
glass.
4 or 5 windows that are
Absolutely.
in that church, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, imagine 200 plus,
Cannot. No.
all concentrated in one area, and we're going to
That's on
enjoy
my
it.
bucket list.
Yeah, should go check it out.
Well, now are you guys gonna pick which everybody's favorite is? You have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll be part of the conversation on the way home.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, so what do you
who's
think?
your favorite?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I can't imagine. And are they real windows that
Yeah.
people make? That's
Yeah.
cool.
it's just like, you know, have you been to the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular?
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. It's hard to describe because they are real pumpkins. But they don't look real because they're so well done.
Okay.
So well done. I mean, it's, I'd really like to, you can YouTube the
I
process
need
and
to
all
do
that and
this.
see how they do it. But, I mean, it
yeah.
just looks like a portrait,
Yeah. Oh wow.
you know, and it looks a lot like, you know, the stippling artwork that's used in the Wall Street Journal, you know, for the, you know, the photos of the writers and things. That's what a lot of this looks like in the jack-o'-lantern, but it's just a lot of like small scraping that makes up.
Intricate. Very.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, like, you know, Rick Pitino on the inside of a pumpkin.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
and it's very clearly Rick Pitino. I mean, it doesn't look like your 5-year-old did it, you know. God love the 5-year-olds,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's strong, those 5-year-olds, but not, well, no, well, that's pretty awesome. Well, that's good. Well, we want a full report about this. That'd be fun.
Okay.
And that'd be great to kick off and of course, the drive down. I mean, there's so many people. Laura and I have been talking about how many houses have been lit up. You know what I mean? So, so with Skyline Suites and everything, so what's kind of, I guess, the, visitation? I mean, if someone
Sure.
wants to visit, do they need to call in advance, or how does that
No.
work? Okay.
No, they don't. What we really want to emphasize is, you know, from the very beginning, Skyline is more like your home than anywhere else that you'll tour, anywhere else that you'll experience. And that was our goal from the beginning. So, you know, you have your own telephone line in your room. It goes directly to your room. So there's no transfer of phone calls. You know, that adds to the feeling of home. Yeah, you have a new telephone number that you've probably had, you know, different from the last 30 years. That's tough for people. You know, I get it. I wish I could bring your telephone number with you, but I can't do that. But when somebody wants to visit, they just show up, right? I mean, we like to stick within the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You know, that's just respectful of, you know, the folks that are coming out for breakfast. Again, they're coming out in their PJs because it feels like home, right?
Well,
I mean,
sure.
they're out there eating breakfast in their PJs. You know, they're in their rooms after 8 o'clock most often, resting. Some of them have already gone to bed. And so we try to, you know, respect that feeling of home as much as possible. So when somebody visits, you know, they come through the front door and we just ask them to fill out the guest registry, you know, for a few different reasons. You know, one, so that we know who was there. Number two, a lot of the residents like to send thank you cards. You know, it's something else, you know, for them to do with their time. And so they send a thank you card to somebody who visits them. We've had a couple of residents that have been really big on that. And then for contact tracing, if something were to occur. But we're encouraging people that have not had a vaccine or that, you know, to wear a mask when they're visiting. And then obviously, if they're experiencing some symptoms or they feel sick at all, you know, they're just staying away. And I think that's something else that COVID has done. It's really increased people and their sense of consideration for other folks. You know, I mean, as a nation, we've always been, oh, I'm going to power through this. I feel a little off this morning, but I'm going to go to work.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Yeah.
pull myself up by the bootstraps and let's get it done. You know, and I think that's changed the mindset of several people Some people have taken advantage of it.
Absolutely.
But
There is much more awareness.
There is.
That's a whole
There
other
is.
show there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, visitation is open, and we invite people to come in, and we are hosting musical performances again, school time visits from kiddos.
Oh.
And so I know that some of those policies have changed as far as the school goes, but we welcome those things to continue again. And we
So-
have ways to protect the residents in those situations too. So
I love that. So if somebody wants to come caroling, like maybe a Girl Scout troop or a Boy Scout or maybe a church group, they just kind of call and make sure that there's not somebody already that
yes,
night, right?
A big group like that, we would want to schedule something, and first and foremost, so that we can let some of the more adventurous residents that are coming and going quite a bit, so that they're sure to be there. They don't want to miss something pretty special like that, And so we schedule that. We let the residents know a day or two in advance. Hey, this is the time slot that these folks are going to come. Be sure to be here. Yeah.
That's nice. Very nice. Well, and then let's talk about some of the different the perks at Skyline Suites, because I want to talk about like the meals and stuff.
Sure.
This is like home cooking.
It is. We're shopping on a weekly basis. As a matter of fact, when I leave here this morning, I'll go pick up groceries from the online grocery
pickup
department at Walmart. So handy. And then we will plan the menus, approximately 2 weeks in advance. The residents get to make some selections, based off of what they would like for lunch and supper, dinner, supper, lunch. It just depends on, what portion of Washington County you're from.
Yeah, I know.
How old you are. And,
I know.
If I say dinner, everybody's looking at me like, Ryan, it's noon. I'm sorry. That's just what I call lunch. I don't know. So anyway, every couple of
we had
weeks.
this discussion a week or two
Yes,
ago.
yes.
Yeah.
It's constant.
Yeah.
People are just giving me a hard time
Leper,
about it.
You got leper and
Yes, leopard. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So we're planning those meals ahead of time. They make the selections, then we're giving those menus back to the residents so they can track what's going on. Breakfast is pretty well made to order. Obviously we're not making like a breakfast quiche for someone. Most people keep it within 3 or 4 items that they rotate in and out of. If you think about what you eat for breakfast every day, that's probably how you handle it. So we're making, that to order each morning for the residents. And then there's always snacks and things in their rooms that we're shopping. And again, that's part of the monthly cost. That's built into that rate. There's nothing that's surprising about that. So we shop that once a week.
You'd have to add more for me for my peanut M&Ms, okay?
Well, now, as far as the candy goes, you're going to have to provide the candy yourself. Okay, but if you want some crackers or some cookies or stuff like that, we're on board with that. But I got to draw the line somewhere.
M&Ms, there you go.
You're
draw
the line somewhere, Becky.
Yeah.
But Ryan, I'm not hungry. And there sits like a 14-ounce empty bag of peanut M&Ms next to you. Yes. It's like, I don't feel so well, Ryan. I know.
have really done very good with
Yeah, I've only ate 10 pounds of
that's
peanut
right.
M&Ms
Yes,
today.
roll it back a little bit.
No, I think the thing that I would be super excited about is someone cooking in those home cooked meals, because I know every time I've came, I have to just peek because I have to see. It
smells good, doesn't it?
Oh, it smells great.
And that's what you smell when you walk in the front door is
yeah.
the meal that we're preparing or we had just prepared. We're home cooking desserts as well. And then there's always the snack cakes that you can grab throughout the day and things, if you need something. But there's always a homemade option on a daily basis. And, I think back to the way it was when I was growing up. And, if you went to your grandma's house where she was kind of centrally located was the kitchen, and she was hanging out in there throughout the day and doing everything centers around the kitchen. And that's what we really tried to capture when we designed Skyline was, hey, let's have somebody in the kitchen. Most often they're going to be the receptionist for people who are visiting when they walk in. If there's not anybody else out there, the cook is always there, right? Somebody comes out of their room, the cook's there, and they've got somebody to talk to. They've got somebody to help them get a snack or something to drink, and they're kind of the director, so to speak. If somebody else needs something, that's outside of the kitchen, then they reach out to one of the other team members that's there that morning, and they go into the room and assist them with whatever they need. So it really feels like home did.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and it's an open floor plan.
It is.
So that what's nice, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it is beautiful, and where you can you've got that where you can sit and watch TV, but then also you can see what's going on in the kitchen and kind of, I like that. You know what I mean? And I think most moms, these are like, honestly, Laura, is this not the ideal kitchen? This is the kitchen we want. You know what I mean? You know,
And fireplace.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Everything going, yeah.
You get your own space, you know, far enough away from folks that you can relax and, you know, have some me time, but you're never far enough away that you can't see someone.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's often enough medicine for most people. It's just companionship and knowing someone else is near if they're needed.
Yeah.
And that's really where we begin the process with people. It's just being present with them.
Well, it's really a home atmosphere. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that, you know, I think that, you know, now, of course, if you watch any of the home shows and stuff, they're trying to do the open floor plans.
Absolutely.
And trying to bring, because they know the kitchen is so important and it's so the heart of the home, you know, and I think that's so, it you know, and when you're cooking, you know, meals, of course, you're in the kitchen a lot. And of course, you know, you have that person that's doing that, and, you know, the cook and that whoever's doing that, but also enjoying their you know, communicating and talking back and forth, which makes it kind of fun too in the kitchen when someone's talking with you.
Oh yeah, sharing stories.
Yeah.
And, well, this is how my mother
Yeah.
would fix that sort of thing.
Yeah. Because with so many, you know, with children, you know, like their friends would come in, they'd, you know, pull up a chair or bar stool or whatever and sit while I was cooking and just talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'd be like, why, you know, out of all the things you could be doing, you know, why would you want to be, you know what I mean? You know,
It just feels good.
And I think it was the cooking. I think it was, you know, mashing those potatoes or, you know what I mean? Or whatever. I think it was the food, you know what I mean? That they just like to watch that, you know, being prepared. I think that was it. But yeah, I mean, and we love that for sure. So you get that home environment but then if you want to go rest or do whatever, then you can go to your room and have your privacy.
Yeah, you know, and what people underestimate is the size of the individual rooms.
Yeah.
You know, the smallest room we offer is 550 square feet. That's larger than my first apartment was.
Yeah.
You know, and I shared that with my wife and a dog. I mean, that's and a way too big sectional sofa, which don't get me started on sectional sofas. That's just a terrible decision. Anyone who buys one eventually sells it because they're like, man, this thing is huge.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is funny
So
stuff.
big.
Oh, I do real quick. We're gonna put a bookmark there. So,
Yes.
So this is your yes. Tell us your
My sectional
tell
story.
Us, okay, so
Yeah, so you two are the apartment, right? It's a brand new building. They're like, hey, I'm going to show you where you will potentially live.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so everything's on the left side of the building, right? When you walk in, you walk through the door and everything's on the left side. You go and you order a sectional. You never get to really buy the one that you see, right? So you order it, and I think ahead of time, hey, I've got this, right? I'm going to plan this out just right.
Yeah.
Situate the way this is made. The chase is going to be over here, and the long part of the couch is here. And okay, that's going to fit on the left side of the building the right way. Fast forward 3 months, they put us in a right side apartment.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Wait, no.
Yes. So you walk in, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't the one that I was supposed to get. Well, this is the one that's available at this point. Sorry.
Oh,
Awesome. So the couch gets delivered, and it is the living room, ladies. I mean, I am nearly climbing over it when we walk through the front door. Yes. And so I draw the ire of my wife. She's looking at me like, this was all on you. You said I got it.
That's right.
And you
Yeah,
ordered
that's
it,
right,
right? And $1,000 later, you're like, no.
What are we gonna
Yeah,
do?
you know, this is something she'll be able to
Right?
forever to hold over
Yes.
your head.
Oh, and she does.
Oh, well, sure.
And so eventually what happened? We sold the sectional, right? Sold it to somebody. Here's another crazy story about a sectional sofa. You know those ratchet straps that they sell in almost every store, right? Yeah, you should use those when you haul a sectional sofa. Oh, I didn't. You're right, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but I had one piece in the bed of the truck. I had one piece on the trailer. Yeah, one piece on the trailer. I did it all at like 9 o'clock at night. The night before, I had a 4-month-old baby. Addie was 4 months. You know, I don't know. Maybe like the gray matter in my brain wasn't gelling right. I don't know, but sleep deprivation reared its ugly head at me, and I did not use ratchet straps.
Oh no!
So I'm trucking down I-60 or up I-65 north of Seymour, and apparently lost the largest part of the sofa off of the trailer onto the interstate. Didn't know it. Didn't know it at the time. It's dark. Didn't know it. get all the way to Columbus, pull into the parking lot, and you pull in, you catch the trailer in the side view mirror of the truck. And you're like, wait a minute, that thing's empty. Where's my sofa? Oh no! So panic and fear sets in, and I'm like playing this forward in my mind, like I have just killed a church bus full of kids. Right? Somebody has swerved. There's a massive casualty accident on 65. It's my fault. So I call my wife. It's like 7 a.m. She's literally in a coma, right? Because she's also has a 4-month-old baby. And I said, Ange, you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. Get the baby. Get on the interstate. You gotta head north. Find the couch. Oh my God, I think I probably just killed a whole bunch of people. So she heads north. I head south. She doesn't see the couch. I don't see the couch. And then there it is. Somebody has set it up on the divider wall of the interstate. I'm like, okay, I think everything's okay. People aren't dead. There's not lights and sirens everywhere. All right. So we pulled around, got the sofa piece. There was just a little nick at the top corner, and I was able to sell the couch. But
no way.
Never again will I ever own a sofa. A large sectional sofa. We'll never own one.
Okay, so
it was crap from the beginning.
It was crap from the beginning. It was awful.
Then somebody bought your crap.
And then somebody bought my crap. For a deeply discounted rate, might I add. But they did buy it, yes.
It had an adventure. Well, let me kind of go back. Okay, so I'm coming back from Tennessee, the CMAs. Okay, and down deep in Kentucky. Okay, I just crossed the border. I'm in Kentucky, and all of a sudden I come up on the interstate, and there's a huge couch, and I'm in the fast lane, left fast lane, going, and there's a couch, so I have to go through it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I hit the couch. The couch goes flying up.
Yes.
Okay, because I can't do anything.
No.
There it is. And so this must happen more often than not. And
I am not alone.
Next thing I know, there are couch stuffings and junk everywhere, all over. It looked like snow going everywhere, all over. Yes.
You just liquefied this sofa, didn't you?
Completely over.
Vaporized
Well, I couldn't. There were people I was on the left hand side. There were people on the right hand side. I couldn't swerve. I had to go. I mean, you have to go forward.
That's it. You probably saved some lives.
There I did.
Killed that
So
couch.
I took it, and so needless to say, my Jeep completely did not win. Okay, the couch won. Okay. And the guy pulled over, and he was young, and like probably you were.
Oh
and
yeah,
he
I'm
was
so
like,
sorry.
I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Can you show me how this ratchet strap works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm going to teach you this sign about a strap.
This is
there.
how it works.
Yeah.
Number one, you got to take it out of the package and use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I swore Ange to secrecy.
We didn't have a couch incident, but we did have a Christmas tree incident.
Oh.
We went, the kids were super little. We let them, help cut the tree, everything. I guess he thought I put the tailgate up. I thought he had put it up. We get home and we don't have a Christmas tree. So he drives back, he finds this tree, and there's like a foot left at the top that actually has branches.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are we going to do? Those kids are planning to put this tree up that they worked hours cutting down. It was terrible. We had this little bitty tree. We let them put it in the playroom.
There you go.
Oh my God.
We were like, we cannot put
Your
that
very
in
own
there.
Charlie Brown tree.
It was awful. It
Yeah.
was too. It was.
Well, and I think Ryan, you're gonna like this. The deer. There was somebody that got a deer, and I guess they forgot to put their trunk down or something, and they were going through Taco Bell, and Taco Bell here's tight, to go through.
Yeah.
And the deer rolled out of the back, and
Oh
so
no.
yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Only in Salem, Indiana.
Only in Salem, Indiana.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. When you think
So-
you've seen it all.
Yeah, there you go. There
Wow.
goes the deer running out the back.
See,
yeah.
it's things like
Yeah.
that give hunters a bad name.
I
It really
know,
is,
I know. Well, and it gives people that haul, haul Christmas trees
All
and all
Christmas trees and couches.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I swore Ange to secrecy. I think the very next thing I said once we picked up the couch was, don't you dare mention this to your dad. Don't you dare. Because I'll never live it down. Every single time we go to strap something on a truck or something, from now until eternity, he'll look at me and say, you better get that strap tight, son.
Have you seen that TikTok where the girl goes, my daddy don't do it that way.
Oh, yeah,
My daddy
I have.
don't do it that way.
And I'll tell you, the
my
first-
daddy does.
First
My
few
daddy
years of
does
our
that.
marriage was like that. It wasn't, my daddy doesn't do it that way, but it's, well, let's talk to my dad. See what he says. I'm like, nah, okay, fine, we'll talk. And I let that coupon ride for a while, and then eventually it expired. You know, hey, we're not going to talk to Dad. We're going to figure this one out ourselves. We're adults.
That's right.
We're full functioning. We got to live with our own decisions here.
And, with that comes, I mean, you've learned experiences. You know how important.
Get your legs up under you, and you learn to trust each other, and
for sure.
But then you have a couch episode, and it sets your credibility back a little bit with your spouse.
Yeah.
We would have talked to my dad.
Yeah, Dad would have told you to strap that down. Now, it's all right.
I think that's hilarious. So don't. If you have Brian over, just if you have a sectional, offer the recliner.
Hey, Ryan, would you rather sit in this chair? Now, they are comfy. But they're just so big.
Yeah.
So big, so in the way. And then you think, well, I'll break it up, and I'll set this section over here, and I'll put this section over here, and no, it just doesn't.
No. That's funny. Yeah. Well, going back, okay, so let's jump back into to Skyline Suites and all the great things.
That was a huge tangent.
Absolutely. I know. I feel like now bird dog.
Squirrel.
Yeah. But going back to it, and some of the different, I always think it's so important to realize the care that everybody gets, and I think it's important too to show that like you're talking like you have your own glam squad, which this is to me. I mean, valuable, very valuable. And we know how well, it is when you can get your hair washed and get your hair done. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Well, we have a salon on site, and I have a very nice lady that works for me. She's been with me since the beginning of Skyline. Her name's Gina Hoke. She is fantastic. She works really hard throughout the week. And then on Fridays, she's actually the hairdresser.
I love that.
Okay. Barber, stylist, extraordinaire. And so everybody that lives at Skyline gets to use that on Fridays, and she starts usually at 8 a.m., finishes at 4. And, we don't do colorings or perms, right? So we steer clear of the chemicals. But we're doing a wash and set. We're doing, a haircut, blowout, all that. I don't know all the terms.
Yeah, no, you're doing good. You got it, Ryan. You're doing good. You're doing good.
And so that is also included in the cost. That's not a surprise, $50 or $70, and it's super handy because, I know that when I'm speaking to somebody about potentially moving in, they say, well, I take mom to the hairdresser every week or every other week. And it's such a chore sometimes, and I had to take off work and so, when they don't have to go out, especially on days like today, right? The wind's blowing and it's rainy, and you go and you get your hair set. Then that's when you see the ladies wearing the bonnets, the plastic coverings that tie under their heads. See, you don't have to ruin your hairdo. My grandma always went out, and if it was a day like today, she would almost rather cancel the appointment.
Yeah, sure.
Than go and have it done. And that's something that she'd look forward to all week long. But she didn't want to throw her money away either.
Right.
And so that's another thing. And then I transport residents to and from local doctor's appointments.
That's wonderful.
And I walk them into the building. I sit down with them. I help them fill out the forms. If it's forms, now it's usually an iPad interface. Yeah. Which is very overwhelming, to an elderly person. And I'll actually go into the room with them if they want me to do that. I have some residents that require, my help, to answer some of the questions and get up and down off the scale and things like that. And so 2 or 3 hours with them doing that. And that is, again, something that a loved one would inevitably have to take off work or miss something else in order to do. And so it begins to feel like caring for your mother or your father is a job now, and then you don't get out to church and dinner and things with them because you've already been with them that day. You've already worked and taken them to the beauty shop, or worked and taken them to the doctor, or worked and did their laundry and made their meal for them. And so then when they come and live at Skyline, we're doing all those things for them and you now. And now you can enjoy your visits with them again as a son or a daughter and really, get into the time with them and not worry about all that other stuff.
So I have to agree 100%. And I think that's just completely such a great, such a great time when you can actually go and just sit for 2 hours and enjoy each other, so to speak, instead of taking that 2 hours and running to get your hair done or running and getting to the doctor's office. And nobody likes to go, to the doctor's office, and it's not fun sitting there, and
Sure.
really how much time it's hard to visit,
Right.
And this is so much better if you can do all that and have that done, and then when the loved one wants to come and sit and talk or whatever, then they have that opportunity to do
Sure.
that.
And
Or to visit
that's tough
Mhm.
to give up, the control of that situation. Lots of sons, lots of daughters take their loved ones to the doctor, and they are their advocate. They are their fighter. They're the ones that will ask the tough questions. When mom or dad will just say, "Okay, it's good to see you. Thanks. I'll see you in
Yeah.
6 months." Well, no, mom, you remember that thing that you were dealing with? Let's talk about that. Let's bring that up. And it's not that they forget about it. They just, maybe it's their pride. They don't want to talk about it with the doctor. They're tough. They're going to power through it. And so I pride myself on filling that role. I know that I didn't grow up with them. They're not my mother. They're not my father. But I would want someone to treat my mother or father the same way that I would. And so, when a resident comes to Skyline, that's what they'll experience. They experience, another son, another daughter, several daughters, more grandkids. My kids are there.
Yeah.
And I joke all the time about it, but it's not a joke. It's pretty serious. My son and daughter, they have 12 additional grandmas and grandpas, and they ask about them and how is this person doing? And the residents ask about my kiddos all the time. And it really is an extended family. And so when you come and you're a part of that, there's just so much more peace that comes with that, and and trust that, okay, mom or dad, they're in a safe place. I don't have to worry about them.
You're able to give them a quality of life, and their children, you're able to give them the quality time that
Right. Right.
it's not a burden.
Right. And I think too, the resident, has a life. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
It's much more engaging.
Yeah, exactly.
Much more engaging than being at home alone.
Exactly.
And
And it has things to do, if someone calls up tonight and says, can I come over? No, I'm sorry. I've got plans.
I have plans. I'm going to the Winterfest in Louisville tonight. Sorry about it. I'll tell you all about it when I get back.
That's right. Right? And your mom or your dad or your grandma or grandpa has a life now. Me too.
Yeah.
And I do say, and we preach this all the time on this station about, no matter what, you need an advocate when you go to the doctor. The doctor, and just to make sure that you're hearing things the way the doctor said it, or making sure that you're doing what the doctor said to do. And to remember. Sometimes it can be a lot to try to remember. Or if I know most doctors. I know Dr. Cardi always says if you can make a list, so when you get here, you don't forget anything.
This is what we talked about.
And where the advocate comes into play, and I love that, and that's wonderful. And of course, when you're there, you probably notice things if somebody has something too,
And that's, we spend a lot of time.
Uh-huh.
My team especially, they spend a lot of time with our residents, and they know as soon as they get out of bed in the morning whether or not that person's feeling right, feeling well, if there's something going on with them, and okay, yeah, it's an off day maybe, and then we put 2 or 3 of those off days together. Well, maybe we've got something more serious.
Sure.
And that's when we're reaching out to the family and making a recommendation, offering to get them to the doctor, pretty quickly. We've got some really good relationships here in town built up now that when we call, the doctor's office, we get a pretty well first priority. It's a work-in, obviously,
Sure. Yeah.
but they make time for us because they know it's going to be an efficient appointment. I'm going to be with them. I'm going to advocate for them. We're going to follow through with what they're telling us to do or asking us to do. And there's a lot of things that if we catch quickly, they're not going to manifest themselves into something so much worse, right? And so that again is something that you cannot get if you're at home alone. You don't have somebody else observing you and watching, your progression through something. So that's another benefit of being, in long-term care.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we talked about activities like you're going tonight, but also there's daily activities
There
too,
is.
like painting and puzzles and
we're playing bingo. And
Bingo.
I spoke about some of the musical performances. We have a weekly Bible study. There's a rotation of ministers from several different denominations and churches here in the area, and they work through that every Tuesday.
I love that.
They come in and have an hour-long Bible study session with some of the residents that want to participate in that. And then there's things like what we experienced yesterday with the parade. There's always something happening that they, to be frank, they just would not experience that at home.
Right. Sure.
So, but yeah, there's always something either planned or, just kind of impromptu that happens, because people want to do for residents of Skyline and the crossing. There's, people just have a soft place in their heart for that sort of thing. So, yeah, it just exposes you to such a richer life, just hard to really put a price tag on that. I mean, I know that assisted living is not cheap, and it is expensive trying to take care of somebody. And there are a lot of costs that are associated with that. But when one will look at the costs of maintaining their home, spending, money repairing appliances, maintaining a vehicle, if they still drive, even if they don't drive, they're still holding on to that vehicle. I mean, it's still parked in the driveway. They're still doing the maintenance on that car. They're still paying insurance on it. They're paying property taxes on their home. They're paying rent if they rent a home. And then all the utilities, the trash, the cable, grocery shopping. They're buying food that often they don't use and it's going bad. And so when you add all of that up and then consider the cost of providing in-home care, whether it's you, the daughter or son, that's spending your time, or hiring an outside company to come and do those things.
And a lot of times they're trying to hire outside companies and you can't find dependable people to show up.
Exactly.
I get that call all the time, constantly. Do you know anybody dependable that can come stay with mom at night? At this point,
the answer is
very few and far
no.
between.
The answer is no, unfortunately.
Sure.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Unless, in that situation, your best option is to either pursue, assisted living or find an individual, that and trust that's willing to become an employee and, stay with you. But even in that situation, that person can't be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It would take, a handful of those people to do that. Or to just simply check in on them 2 or 3 hours a day, maybe make a couple of meals and put them in the fridge. But then, who wants to eat leftovers all the time?
I think
that's tough.
That's something on caretaking. That's one of the hardest things is keeping the meals.
Yes, that is the biggest.
It really is.
It's the biggest thing. Our residents experience some pretty good food, and and then you have particular tastes and things like that. You're never going to be able to please everyone all the time. There's always going to be something that you're just not quite as fond of as you were yesterday's meal. But
that's family,
right? I only have 2 kids, and they never agree on what they want to eat, right?
Say.
Oh, I don't like that, Dad. Well, I'm sorry, son, that's what we're having tonight.
It is what it is.
You had chicken nuggets last night, Tonight we're going to have,
meatloaf.
Yeah, we're going to have pasta tonight. Oh, I don't like pasta, Dad. Well, sis likes pasta. So, you go back and forth with that.
Absolutely.
And, but again, that's better than, I don't know, Twinkies or,
definitely. Or
a
just
bag of chips or a can of soup, microwave meals, those are okay in a pinch, but if you're eating that every day, there's a lot of sodium in that, and
definitely.
you're probably not eating all of it because it's just not so great. But yeah, the food and the companionship, are oftentimes the biggest thing. And then, obviously medications fall into that too.
I was getting ready to say medications. You handle that.
Yes, we do manage that. Now, we don't dispense medicine, so I'm not keeping your medicine in an office in a locked cabinet and then deciding when or if you need certain meds, right? We don't inject medicines like, insulin and things like that. But what we do is assist the resident with their medication. And there's a couple different levels of that. We have residents that are extremely independent with their medication. And so when we're in their rooms cleaning, we just spot check that they're still capable of being independent with that. And that's just simply checking to make sure they've taken it that day.
Right.
And oftentimes we can do that without even having a conversation with them. We just look in their planner it's open. They've done it. They've taken it. No problem. But then, there comes a time when maybe you're a little more forgetful than you used to be. And so, you need a reminder, and we set those with our team members, on the daily task sheet. And we're going into your room 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a day and reminding you, hey, Sally Sue, it's time to take your meds. Okay, no problem. And we get the planner. We open up the planner. They take their meds. We're not handling medications. And then there are some times when a resident may take it too often because it's out in front of them. We will lock that medicine up in a lockbox that's affixed to their cabinet in their bathroom, and we maintain the key. And then 3-4 times a day, we go in, we unlock the box, we get the planner out, they take their meds, we observe them taking it, make sure that they followed through with that, right? And so again, we're not dispensing, we're not touching, we're not handling meds. We have a really strong relationship with Good Living Pharmacy in town, and they will organize a 7-day Medi planner for you, okay, with 4 slots in it. And then they deliver that to us every Friday at noon, and they pick up the empties from the week before. If you have an antibiotic that comes, midweek or something like that, oftentimes one of their representatives will deliver that to me, and they'll put it in the planner, or I'll coordinate with a family member to get it put in the planner for them, right? But again, we're not handling meds. We're not dispensing it to them. We're not making decisions. We're not saying, oh, well, maybe try some of this NyQuil here tonight, or, take this ibuprofen since you're complaining of your back. No, we don't do those things. Now, if they have those in their room and they request them, then we will assist them with it. But we're not, again, making, the call on those things.
Sure.
So.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I think it's so good and above and beyond the relationships there.
Right. I mean, it's essentially what you would do for your mother or your father if you were capable of providing 24-hour care to them in their home. And so that's the role that we fill.
What if someone wants to tour and see your facility?
Sure. Well, I pride myself on the fact that every one of my team members could deliver that tour and answer their questions, right? Now, when we get down to the brass tacks of the daily rate and the particulars of the resident agreement, length of stay, things like that, then that's when the conversation would need to transition to me. So if somebody just wants to impromptu just drop by for a tour, no problem. Come anytime. If you want to set up something with me and have a conversation that's a little deeper, then you just call my telephone number, 812-320-3761, and we can have that conversation over the phone, or we can meet in person. Absolutely. It's really about when it's convenient for you. I will schedule my life around that meeting, that conversation. My phone's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If there's an emergency at Skyline, I'm the one that they call after they call 911, right? I want to emphasize that. After. And I respond, if it's 2 a.m. and somebody needs something, or there's, unfortunately somebody's fallen out of bed or fallen, then I'm the one that goes and helps, and, we coordinate that situation. So I'm available 24/7, and that's something else that you get as a resident of Skyline. You get 24/7 access to the ownership.
I love that.
Right? I'm the director and the owner of the building. If there's an issue with your loved one, or you're concerned about how things are handled, you get me. You go directly to me. You don't have to upset 4 other people before you come and talk to me. No offense, Lord Lee. You work for a large organization.
Yes,
you really do.
Well, Laura makes it personal.
She does. She does. And that's one of the things that I love about her, and why, I rely on her so strongly.
But to know that I could, if my loved one was there, and I could talk to you 24 hours a day,
right,
and have that communication.
10 o'clock. You just got off the phone with Mom. It's 10 o'clock, and you're like, wow, Mom didn't really sound all that great, Ryan. Can you tell me what's going on? And you can send me a text message. You can call me, and I'll say, hey, and the great thing about the way I handle things, there's not going to be a surprise. There's never going to be, well, hey, for the last couple of weeks, Mom's been really confused. No. If Mom's confused 2 days in a row, we're having a conversation. I'm calling you. At the very least, I'm sending you a text message. Hey, do you have time for a quick chat? And we're having a conversation. If it's not me, it's one of my team members that I feel comfortable with having that conversation, because they were involved in the situation with the resident. they can speak, more clearly about what happened and give the details better, or maybe they just have a stronger rapport with that loved one, and a connection maybe outside of Skyline. And so we've relied on that several times, but there's not a surprise. There's always communication. That's one of the things I pride myself on, and our setup there, and the ability of how deep and individualized we can go with it, because there are only 12 rooms.
Yeah, so. I agree. Yeah. And I think that's something you really need to, I think our listeners in the community and surrounding communities that are listening, who are looking for maybe a place or something, this would definitely, I think those are things you really need to stress and let people know that are available. I feel like that's something you don't want someone to say, oh, I didn't know that existed, or a place like this. And
right.
What a blessing that you do have, although it does fill up pretty fast.
It does.
Yeah. So
it does at this time of year, as the weather gets ugly, as we saw last night, right? And the temperatures drop midweek, this week, it gets harder to get out and take care of a loved one. It gets harder to get over there to mom's house as often as you would like to. Maybe you have your own health struggles that, you're dealing with. And so this is the time of year where those things, get exacerbated, it increases and gets harder. And so we do fill up, pretty quick. I've got one room available right now. And as of 2 weeks ago, I had 3 rooms.
Yeah.
So it happens really quick.
Yeah.
I get phone calls all the time, and, and this is when we get really serious about it. So if you are thinking about that, because this is a huge transition, I don't make light of this at all, and it's not just a transition for the resident that's potentially coming to live with us. It's a transition for the loved one, because they are so used to mom being there or dad being there in that home and knowing exactly where they are and what they're doing all the time. And it's a change for them. And again, to let go of the control of that situation and rely on someone that maybe they just met. We have a nice, shiny new building and a great team of people, but again, you don't really know us. You don't know if you can trust us or not, and we just have to show you over time that you can. And so, we welcome that. We welcome that challenge. We really do. I think we've done a pretty good job of succeeding in that area. So, so yeah, if you are somebody who's considering that, at the very least, come and take a tour. Don't stay at home and tell yourself a story about what the building looks like or what the experience will be like, because I can assure you, it's not what you're picturing. It's just not.
No, definitely not. Right.
So come and be pleasantly surprised. At the very least, start the conversation, with mom or dad. Pick the right time, involve them in the process as much as possible so that they feel like a partner and have an opportunity to make the decision with you, along with you, with some gentle nudge and encouragement from you.
Sure.
But again, you've got to start the process, and give me a call whenever it feels comfortable.
Right. Well, and I think we talk about caretakers all the time, and I think caretakers are above and beyond, but sometimes it can be a lot, and just like we talked, meals, health, and so many things to keep up with. And then if you have a little life yourself and you go somewhere, then you feel guilty. There's so much that goes on. And I think that if you can try and see if this works, and if this is better, then it makes everybody feel so much better.
Absolutely.
Everybody can enjoy each other more so than that guilt feeling when they do go out, or trying to make sure that you have that good meal,
Right.
And I think it's something that definitely, I hope more people come up and at least take a tour and
absolutely
see for themselves.
In some situations, in assisted living communities, there's a commitment required. There's a year-long lease, or you have to put down a hefty deposit. We don't do any of those things at Skyline. What we want to do is allow somebody to ease into that transition. So if it's just try it for 30 days, you can still maintain your home for those 30 days. So that if you come to us and for some reason you're not satisfied, you don't like the way things are done, then you can always go back home. There's no 6-month lease or 12-month lease, right? And so if you come in and you say, hey, this isn't working out, okay, at the end of the month, that's it. That's no big deal. Now, I get often asked, well, what happens if you know, we get sick and we can't come back to Skyline. You know, we end up in the hospital and we can't come back to Skyline for whatever reason. And that's okay. You know, our health changes really quickly. Sometimes on a 24-hour basis, we're totally different. You know, the charges stop when your belongings are removed from the room. So again, it's not a 6-month buy-in or a 12-month buy-in, and that's the way it works. So if you move out on the 17th and you've paid for the full 30 days ahead of time, then you get a 13-day refund.
Oh, what a blessing. Oh,
You know?
Ryan, that's wonderful. And I like that baby steps. I mean, because, you know, to see how this is going to work for some that are
Absolutely.
on pins, you know what I mean? I like that where you're not feeling like you're signing everything.
Well, some shows shout, other shows snooze, but I found a show that just can't lose. Rick and Bubba's here on the air. People's talking about them everywhere. Rick and Bubba's on your radio. They're up when you are sleeping. They sleep while you're awake. They know if you're not tuning in, so don't
Welcome in. Yeah, it was so dark and just, it's like, oh, very, yeah.
Yuck. Do you have your shopping done, Becky? No.
Ryan, I'm working on it.
I tell you what, my wife has been an absolute internet warrior. Okay?
There you go.
She is a mobile shopping
Yeah,
warrior.
yeah.
She made the comment last night. She said, okay, I'm going to spend tomorrow going through all the packages and make sure that I have an equal amount for each kiddo. Because your phone says been delivered, right? But it's in a box or in a package, and you don't want to open it because the kiddos are going to see it. So we've just been like honey holing all this stuff in the staircase closet.
You honey hole it.
So we're going to get all of it out today, and we're going to
look at
spread
that,
it out
look
and
at
maybe wrap it up.
And so you're going to actually, you're going to be surprised yourself.
I am. Yes.
It's like Christmas for Ryan.
Yes. I have been part of the process intermittently.
I love that.
Okay.
That's wonderful. Love that.
I can't take all the credit, but I'm going to take some of it.
I love that. Well, we were talking about, again, TikToks and, some of the different social media where the mom's like, when the kids are opening up the gifts, like, yes, and the dad's like, what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. I'm just as surprised as you are, son.
That's the way it was at our house.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
That's okay. That's
all
okay.
right. That's good.
Dad just sees dollar signs.
There you go. That's right.
It's like, oh my gosh, that was expensive.
But he didn't understand how good of a shopper mom actually
That's
is.
right. Oh, I got a good deal, honey.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
you don't understand that.
Yeah.
So that
was on sale.
It was on sale.
It's my favorite.
That was.
It was on sale.
Now, technically, as long as someone had it for sale, you're being, right? I mean, it is technically on sale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Look at that. Yeah.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is a fun time of year, and definitely a busy time of year, and everything is, getting packed and getting busy, and the different shopping and.
Don't be the last minute person.
No. Yeah.
Don't be that.
Yeah, don't be.
Especially this year.
And that's coming from a male. Now, have you ever been that? Have you ever?
Of course.
You ever stopped at a convenience store?
Oh,
Becky, I managed a convenience store for 15 years. Okay, of course. You know how many of my gifts came from the drugstore? Almost all of them.
What is it? The 12-foot Snickers or what is it?
You can.
What is it? The 12-foot Snickers or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't say
Yes.
11
I
like
got
that.
the kids' lightsaber thing.
Yes.
Or no, it wasn't lightsabers. It was the what do you call it? I don't know, some kind of game system, but it was like the hit of Christmas, and I'm thinking that was like a $10
You
gift.
can't go wrong with a foot massager. I'm just gonna say
there you
that.
go.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
like
there
the
you
gift
go.
that keeps on giving all year long.
Or what about the spa bath?
Yes.
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of borderline.
Your place,
It gets kind of yicky after a while, I think.
Ugh.
You gotta be kind of diligent when you're cleaning that up. And I'm just not that person. I'm just like, it's just my feet to go in there. It's fine. Turn it on, right?
No.
And people who really know me would be surprised about that because I'm a pretty particular kind of guy. But again, it's my feet, right? Yeah.
Well,
we just got weird, folks.
Yeah. So
Talking
don't.
about feet now.
There we go. That's
Well,
right. Yeah.
well,
So don't be that guy or
don't.
that gal that waits the last minute
No.
and do your convenience store shopping.
Exactly.
You know?
Don't rely on Amazon to get you the package in 24 hours
I
this year.
do get upset when they
Not
don't.
going to happen.
Yeah, or running late. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they're running late.
UPS and FedEx and all those guys and girls are going to be, extra stressed this year.
Yeah.
Supply chains are, thinner than they've ever been.
Yeah.
You gotta plan ahead this year, guys.
I got this. I was actually FedEx came with a big delivery of a. It was a big cultivator, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like tearing up the dirt. You know what I mean? For the
Yeah.
And it wasn't mine. I was like, no, I didn't get that. That's not mine.
Man.
It went to the neighbor.
That's a high dollar delivery.
I
right
know.
there.
I was like, no, sorry, not mine. But at first I thought, it was funny because my husband was coming in when they were going out, and he's like, what did you buy? Nothing. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It was on sale.
Yeah, it was on sale.
It was on sale.
I have boxes stacked in the living room. I have teenagers, so
Yeah.
they don't even care
No,
anymore.
they don't.
Nobody's even open. They've not even looked. They don't care.
Well,
Wow.
I will.
They're just
I
sitting
tell you.
there.
Yeah,
They're like, what is all that? I said, oh, it's your Christmas gifts. I'll get it wrapped.
my daughter's been pretty chill about it. She's actually carried in some of the packages
Oh my
and
goodness.
put them in the
Who
closet.
are these children?
Yeah, she's 10. So she's, she had the ideal of Christmas ruined, a couple years ago. Somebody, told her, and she's a sharp kid too. So I mean, she
is a sharp kid.
kind of knew, but I think she just still chose to believe for a while. My son is still all wrapped up in the Elf on the Shelf.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, he's a firm believer. Yesterday I busted him down with it.
that.
I said, hey, if you're not good in this basketball game, I'm going to call the Elf squad. I'm going to let them know how you're acting.
Oh my goodness.
Dad, you can't call them. Why? They don't have phones. That's what he said to me. They don't have phones. I said, well, son, it's magic. No, you don't have elf magic, Dad. I mean, he's 5 years old.
You might be a cool dad, but you ain't that cool.
No,
you don't have elf magic.
Don't try to
That's a
work
whole
me,
other
Dad.
level.
Yeah.
That's
But it works at school.
That's,
He walks in, he tells me, he's like, Dad, there's 2 elves. Miss Robin has an elf, and Miss Laura has an elf.
Yeah.
The teacher says
Yeah.
that they're watching us, and they move when we're not there. And they do. They move them around at different times of the day. They get moved around. So it's working.
That's awesome.
That's a
Love
sharp play, ladies.
Oh,
Keep
I
it
know.
up.
Well played. Well played, for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely. Well, Ryan Buchanan, Skyline Suites, thank you so much for coming in, and keep up the great work, and have fun tonight and a safe trip, enjoying all those wonderful stained glass. And we want to know more information when you get back about it. Tell us all about it.
Will do.
So, and Laura, thanks for coming and hanging
Thanks
out.
for
And
having me.
we had a big weekend, guys, and it's still going on. It's Monday, right? Look at
It's
us.
just funneled into
There's some places that are closed on Mondays. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ryan,
try that.
Laura, and Becky here. We are not those people.
No.
We go boldly into the night, don't we?
March is on.
That's right. Hit the ground running. Absolutely. Yeah. And just like the Marines, nobody gets left behind, right? Absolutely. All right, let's thank our sponsors.
Absolutely. We have Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Kentucky Cat and Core, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, and Fox Furley Wealth Management.
Everyone, have a wonderful Monday. Thank
Happy
you, Ryan.
Monday.
Thanks, Laura.
See Celebrity Home Loans in Salem, where everyone gets treated like a star. Come experience the star treatment with us. You'll never go back to the ordinary home loan experience again. Stop in today and see Dennis Baxter, branch manager of the Salem office, to start working on a new home loan or refinancing today. They've served nearly 50,000 families with over $15 billion in loans. Stop in and see Dennis and his staff. They're ready to work with you today. As a star, you would